Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at The Substance, released in 2024. The Substance is the second feature by French filmmaker Coralie Farja, whose 2017 debut Revenge was previously covered on the Kill Count. I loved Revenge and was excited for whatever Farja gave us next. Little did I know it'd become my favorite horror movie of the year and a freaking 5-time Oscar nominee, including for Best Picture. Hell yeah, dude! Revenge was an action body horror movie about external violence done to women. The Substance uses body horror again, along with dark comedy, to explore more internal issues, like the pressure and rejection women face by society, especially as they age. Hollywood star Elizabeth Sparkle is forced out of her career to make room for younger talent. In response, she starts taking the Substance, a black market drug that promises to create a better, hotter version of herself. The Substance takes place in an artificial LA, as stylized as the rest of the film. That's why I love it. It has such an uncompromised vision. It doesn't tone things down for easier consumption. Farja blasts you in the face with her visual and audio choices, with every frame and sound effect purposeful and powerful. She takes inspiration from movies like The Fly and The Thing, amping up the blood and deforming bodies in every way possible.
The way I needed to express this was in a violent way. Was it in a not delicate way? Was it in a not behaved way? Because
Thank you for that.
On top of all that, The Substance is so thematically rich. This is definitely one you should watch the podcast episode on, where we analyze the movie more deeply. Chelsea's perspective is especially insightful. The movie may seem superficial at first, since it's not subtle at all. It's full of stereotypes and shouts its message full-throatedly. But it's a deftly depicted nightmare of a woman aging out of worthiness in Hollywood. The fears are real, even if the setting is an artifice. Farja wanted it to feel timeless, like a fucked up fairy tale. I love everything about The Substance. The in-your-face gore, the music, the sound design, the cinematography, obviously the performances, and how wickedly funny it is. It's weird and gross and obsessed with butts and everything else that's good. And to have a movie like this get Oscar nominations and a win for makeup and hairstyling, horror fans should be so proud of this movie's accolades. Shows the normies how good and weird our shit can be. Is this movie's I probably shouldn't, right?
Do you want to sell a sponsor?
Nope, I'm good. I actually already have today's sponsor, Raycon, and their everyday headphones.
Do you want to sell a sponsor better?
I think I just need to talk about how much I love that they offer premium audio features at half the price of other premium audio brands, like their hybrid noise cancellation that makes it easy to drown out distractions, and their 40 hours of battery life, which means you can drown them out through work and play. Seriously, they're perfect for locking in and getting that victory royale, or at least killing fools after you baseball bat them across the map. Haha, Billy rules!
Do you want to sell a sponsor younger?
No, wait, what? Which is why today's episode is sponsored by Raycon. But no, this is my life. This is my sponsor. I'm gonna talk about how Raycons offer a quick charge that gets you 2 hours of playtime with only 15 minutes of charge. I bet you need that after always forgetting to charge them, don't you irresponsible child?
Do you want to sell a sponsor buffer?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Experience premium sound wherever you go. Head to buyraycon.com/deadmeat25 to get 25% off Raycon's best-selling everyday headphones. Don't miss out. Head to buyraycon.com/deadmeat25. Is this movie's body count more style over substance? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a reanimator-looking substance injected into the yummy part of an egg. Before you can say mitosis up in this bitch, where once there was one is now two, even though they are one. A bunch of men build up a star in Hollywood on Hollywood Ave. We watch the life cycle as the seasons change, from glitz and glamour to cracked and ravaged by the passage of time.
You remember her?
She was in that movie,
One dude even drops a burger on it. Dog, you ain't really trying to clean all that up, bro. Aw, with your shoe too, dude? The star belongs to Elizabeth Sparkle, a former Oscar-winning actress who spent the past few years jazzercising on her morning show, Sparkle Your Life. When filming finishes, she blows out the studio lights and takes a trip down Overlook Boulevard, past a parade of monuments to her past successes. A plumbing problem sends her into the shining-looking men's room, where she overhears a network exec saying he wants to replace her pronto.
We need her young. We need her hot. We need her now.
He wants her gone because it's her 50th birthday today, and he thinks that's when it, stops.
What stops?
Maybe his pecker's prowess? Because that thing definitely ain't in tip-top shape. But no, he means it's when her sex appeal stops, which, looking at the 60-year-old Demi Moore, is patently absurd. Harvey here, named after the king of ogres, Harvey Weinstein, is a cartoonish and outlandish character. I mean, look at the way this jackass leaves the meeting, arm wrapped around his chuddy chum. But some of the shit Harvey says is definitely said by some dudes in real life.
Did you know that a woman's fertility starts to decrease about the age of 25?
He's as gross as all these shots of him slamming down shrimp. Apparently, Dennis Quaid ate 4 pounds of it on set.
The scene with Dennis eating the shrimp, which you haven't seen, is by far the most violent scene in the whole movie.
Corley Farja got a lot of pushback on the seafood scene's grossness, which is hilarious considering the rest of the movie. Driving home, Elizabeth sees her billboard getting torn down, and it sends her spinning out in more ways than one. Damn, she's tumbling like a load of laundry. Though she's physically unharmed, a mentee bee at the hospital scares the doctor off with her womanly emotions. He leaves behind his very intense-looking nurse, who says he has one final test to perform. After a bit of poking and prodding, he says she's a great candidate for an experimental new procedure. His doctor's note comes with a flash drive containing an indecent proposal.
Have you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself?
The video promo promises to create a new, younger Elizabeth through cellular division, all made possible by the title card. I mean the substance.
The substance.
Yeah, what he said. It sounds bonkers to Elizabeth until she spends a martini-soaked evening watching pretty young things get romanced at the bar. That gets her reminiscing about her Rosebud days. She's further motivated by her replacement ad in the newspaper. Olds need not apply. She fishes the flash drive out of the trash and calls the phone number. A mysterious voice, the same one from the promo video, gives her an address and mails her a deli number on a hotel keycard. She heads to the pickup place located in the Sirens and Dogs district of town. Graffito marks the address, and entrance is gained through a faulty automatic door. Damn, she has to crouch walk through there like she's trying not to make footsteps in Fortnite. She finds an Amazon locker room and her corresponding cubby. Inside it is an at-home kit with everything she needs. That hypergreen activator fluid, food tubes, tubes, and a minimalist instruction manual. The whole thing looks like something an influencer would peddle on Instagram. She prepares to start the process in her bathroom, taking a beat to judge her body in the mirror. It's a good body, but it has signs of age, a natural part of that thing we all go through, if we're lucky. But now she has a chance to be younger. After all, this new version of her will still be her, just better. Much better! She injects herself with a highlighter ink, which gives way to a crazy camera angle and a mean bump on the bathroom floor. She writhes around like the embodiment of a Natalie Imbruglia song as the first of many painful transformation sequences begins. Aw, man, does she got scarab beetles under her skin? On her eye just split in two like the egg from the opening. After a while, her freaking back splits open. Aw, shit! I'm guessing this is why the creepy nurse was feeling on her spinal column to make sure it could handle this traumatic rupturing. This is body horror at its finest, complete with incredible sound design. And it's capped off by a Stargate sequence similar to the 10-minute long one in 2001: A Space Odyssey. DP Benjamin Kraken created it practically by sticking the camera in the middle of a spinning tube of lights. Elizabeth reawakens to an out-of-body experience. The substance worked as advertised, and she's now played by a greased-up Margaret Qualley. She does what literally any of us would do in this situation and checks herself out. While Elizabeth's nudity was casual, vulnerable, and not done in a titillating way, we shift into a fully sexual depiction of flesh here. She's really feeling herself, and why not? I really love the mirror shot that required them to build 2 identical bathroom sets and stitch together 7 shots that used 4 different lenses. The camera actually moves through what looks like a mirror and lands behind a body double, who had to sync her movements with Margaret Qualley to seem like a reflection. Very awesome stuff. The old body still has to be taken care of, so she sews up the spinal split and feeds it the provided food goop. Her new body requires maintenance as well, a healthy dose of back juice to keep her feeling alright, collected from the old one with a gnarly looking needle. It's all part of the rules. While her new body is fit and flirty, she has to stabilize it every day with spinal fluid. She also has to switch back to her old body every week. 1 week on, 1 week off. Them's the rules. Farja thought of this birthing sequence while taking a shower, and it was the first thing she wrote for the movie. It's our first taste of the effects work from makeup artist Pierre-Olivier Persson, who was part of the team that won The Substance its Oscar for makeup and hairstyling. Persson built a full silicone dummy of Moore that had its back sliced open, and that could actually be sewn shut with a real needle and thread. The body rested on a raised set that allowed the team to puppeteer it from beneath, using air bladders and pumps to make it writhe and shake. It was important to Farja to have as much of the effects practical as possible because of the movie's themes.
The movie is really about flesh and bones. It's a movie about women's bodies.
Determined to get her job back and be her own replacement, she buys a new outfit and heads to the audition. It's here she makes her formal introduction.
I'm Sue.
Sue's new look is shown off with all the sheen of a car commercial. The substance sexualizes this new young body the same way the industry does.
Looks like everything sure is in the right place this time.
And peep the star earrings she wears. They're a reference to the iconic accessory of the lead character in Revenge. Sue lands the job, with Harvey even willing to work around her 1 week on, 1 week off schedule.
I want you for this show, and we will work around any mother, brother, fucking sick puppy you need to take care of.
Harvey was originally meant to be played by Ray Liotta, who unfortunately passed away during pre-production. Luckily, Dennis Quaid loved the project and Farja's vision. He ended up joining so late there wasn't time for rehearsals, not that you could tell. His performance is perfectly sleazy as all hell. Sue's thrown back into showbiz, filling her closet with the latest fashion and her garbage with the latest medical waste. She does a photo shoot that results in a giant billboard peeking right into her penthouse. Her rebirth is symbolized by a flaming phoenix, another image Farja previously used in Revenge. I love when the burning outline turns into her robe, which is so badass it would turn either flare green with envy. Woo! Playing someone so inhumanly perfect was difficult for Quali. To achieve Sue's flawless figure, she went through months of intensive training, lifting weights and doing yoga. Even then, she had to wear a set of prosthetic boobs to better match Moore's proportions. The butt's all her though, aside from that mirror shot that uses a body double. The fabulous lifestyle lasts a week, and then it's time for Sue to clock out. She switches back to Elizabeth, who spends her days shut inside her apartment, just waiting until she can be Sue again. Doesn't help that everyone else is trying to get rid of her too, with the last of her posters removed from the Hall of Fame. And then she's got to deal with this asshole?
Oh, I love my wife.
Yeah, go fuck off down that hallway, dude. Yeah, keep going. All the way, you son of a bitch! Great use of this ridiculously long hallway, which Farja says represents Elizabeth's long career, the end of it always in sight. Elizabeth hates being Elizabeth, so it's a relief when the weekends and she's back to being Sue, where life is a commercial for Diet Coke. And butts! Wow, the market for butts must be up, up, up. Unless you're the couch Elizabeth spent her week sitting in, then butts have got you looking pretty down. Sue doesn't appreciate her old body's habits, or inconvenient presence, so she knocks on her walls until she finds a hollow space and then turns the shit into a Benny Benassi music video. She works days and nights so she can get her satisfaction, and in the end winds up with a cavernous hidey hole for Elizabeth's body. The construction noise annoys a neighbor until he sees who answers the door.
Sue.
Oliver.
He came here to yell at Elizabeth and left offering Sue some spackle. Glad to see Gore Abrams getting work. We previously saw him as another little sex pest in Hell House. Horn dog neighbor aside, it is the absolute shit being Sue. I mean, look at that billboard. She's basically the universal minion that looks out over the valley. We love you, Eye of Sauron, Mini-Man! Despite taking place in Hollywood, The Substance was filmed in France, with the palm trees of Cannes standing in for LA's.
I don't need to have the real LA view. What I need is one palm tree against a blue sky.
Elizabeth's apartment was on a soundstage with a backdrop outside the window. Farja and DP Kraken decided against using LED screens. Instead, they backlit an image of LA printed on a huge piece of fabric, creating a look that emulates classic Hollywood movies. When lit from the front, the backdrop looked like sunny LA. Lighting it from the back made it look like the city at night. It's an artificiality that matches the movie's themes and setting. Sue films a promo for her morning show, or maybe it's an intro or an episode. It feels like a music video.
Don't you know you got to pump it up?
This segment is so damn great. A bombastic and sexed up commentary by Farja. It's ridiculous, yes, but not too far off from movies like Perfect, music videos like Call on Me, or even advertisements like Carl's Jr. commercials. It's set to a remixed version of Pump It Up by Danzel, one of the most hype songs I've ever heard. Please put that shit on Spotify, my cardio needs it! Sue's leotard-laden routine took inspiration from Dua Lipa and Beyonce, as well as the Call on Me music video by Eric Prydz. The choreography proved to be a challenge for Quali, even though she's an experienced dancer. I mean, did you see her at the Oscars? Ate and left no crumbs. Still, she didn't naturally have Sue's perfect confidence, and ended up having to do the scene under the influence of tequila and weed.
And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
The shoot is a success and Sue wants to celebrate, so she tells Elizabeth's body that she'll be back soon, even though that oatmeal go-gurt is getting pretty low right now. A night out with her backup dancers ends with one of them coming home with her. She starts to feel the effects of staying out past the streetlights too long, so she decides to risk a late fee and re-up on that bat juice. It's the first slide down a slippery slope, symbolized when Sue unzips her organs all over the carpet. It's a wonderfully disgusting shot that ends up being an ominous dream. Farja meticulously planned her vision for the film, including sound effects and shot frames in her script. That included a ton of close-ups, most of which were filmed during a 30-day shoot after the actors had wrapped. This shoot, which they nicknamed The Lab, was when they filmed special effects, prop shots, shrimp shots, and thematic beats, like that flaming phoenix. Farja was a super hands-on director and helped with many of the effects herself, including injecting an actual needle into her actual arm. Damn, French people, you crazy. Elizabeth clocks in for her shift and finds a total mess. And a witch finger! Oh man, yeah, that's a wicked witchy coat now. All the scrubbing in the world ain't gonna fix that shit. Maybe if she had lava, she could have done a better job. She calls customer service and says there's been a mix-up, but they tell her the damage is done and that you can't get back lost time.
What has been used on one side is lost on the other side. There's no going back.
If she wants to avoid more mishaps, she has to respect the balance, for they are one. But it don't feel like they are one. People treat her way differently, especially Sue's booty call. What? Despite all the you are ones, Elizabeth starts to see Sue as a separate person, one she has to clean up after, all while Sue Eckelberg keeps peeping into her room. And peeping from the tube, too. Look at that butt! And those perfect, non-witchified fingers. Man, Sue sure does love being Sue, and that drives Elizabeth insane. Farja wrote The Substance in her 40s and knew casting would be difficult. It requires someone to confront real fears about aging out of the industry. Thankfully, the script found its way to Demi Moore, who immediately connected with the story's themes.
I really discovered someone who was, yes, rock and roll in a way and knew how to take risk.
Working with Moore was a full circle moment for Farja, whose first film job was bringing more coffee on the set of 2000's Passion of the Mind. While picking up her refills, Elizabeth is freaked out by strange noises, so she ducks into a diner. Some old dude starts yapping at her.
It's long, isn't it?
Excuse me?
7 days.
He's a fellow user of the substance, whom Elizabeth recognizes via birthmark as the nurse from the hospital. The nurse was this guy Sue, judging by his spinal scar and cubbyhole keycard. He spells out the movie's themes for her.
It gets harder each time to remember that you still deserve to exist. That this part of yourself is still worth something.
I like this inclusion of a male user of the substance. Obviously, the movie is primarily focused on women and the way Hollywood treats them as they age. But this moment gives truth to the fact that elderly people of any gender are often discarded and forgotten by our youth-obsessed society. Thankfully, there's one person who likes Elizabeth the way she is. Fred, an old classmate she ran into earlier.
You're still the most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
Fred is a little much and lacking social skills. You really about to give her a wet, dirty paper with your number, bro? That's disrespectful. She didn't want to put a soggy dirt nap in her purse. But as far as I can tell, he's earnest. So Elizabeth calls him up and asks him out on a date.
Are you still there?
Sorry, I'm in shock again.
It's a big ego boost for her, but it doesn't last long since she's constantly reminded of her perfect better half, that damn butt-tacular, bodacious
Sue.
It's a standout, heartbreaking scene as Elizabeth grows more and more self-conscious. I mean, this alone probably got her the Golden Globe win and the Oscar nomination for Best Actress. She keeps trying to make herself perfect and almost leaves the apartment several times, but she always goes back for more primping. You are yelling for her to make it out the door, but her self-image is completely warped, and she ends up sabotaging herself and staying at home. She's left completely defeated, and Fred's left on red. Damn, Demi, way to ghost the guy. Elizabeth eats the week away until we're due for Sue. She's got ice cream, popcorn, and entire rotisserie chickens. Yeah, been there. But since they are one, Elizabeth's diet starts to affect Sue.
Head between your legs.
They pause, and the crew calls for a replay on camera 2. Camera 2? But that's the designated butt camera! In a hilariously humiliating moment, they do a frame-by-frame booty analysis on the biggest screen in the room. Sue leaves as everyone ogles her ass and opts to diagnose the issue in private. Oh man, that is one gross diagnostic. She's shifting something around under her skin like she's trying to fish out a hoodie drawstring or something. Out through her navel comes a frickin' chicken bone, a whole ass finger-licking drumstick! Oh, hell no. But nobody notices Sue's issues yet. In fact, Harvey says the whole damn nation's fallen in love with her. His employees, too. She's getting leered at by actor Vincent Columbi, who played Stan in Revenge. Harvey lets Sue know she's getting a promotion. They want her to host the network's New Year's Eve show in just a few months. It's her biggest opportunity yet, so she says screw the balance. Elizabeth is about to pay Sue some overtime. She steals more and more stabilizer fluid, hitting that spinal tap so many times they need a new scale to measure it, one that goes to 11. Oh man, that wetback wound's infected for show. Oh God, I'm gonna hurl. Gentle, Sue, come on! It's not clear how many days Sue disrespects the balance, but the next time Elizabeth wakes up, she ain't happy. Sue's body abuse has made Sparkle Prime go gray in the everywhere. She's varicose, knobby, wrinkled, spotted, and forget the witch finger, she's got full-on witch limbs. Perso nicknamed this look Requiem, in reference to Ellen Burstyn's character in Requiem for a Dream. He and Farja went back and forth on how far to push this look. The aging prosthetics were multi-layered. The veins were done with temporary tattoos, as well as pieces of red and blue wool covered in translucent silicone. Damn, that's cool. Elizabeth is pissed about her current state, but has no one to blame but Sue. Okay, I meant herself. Just stop hitting yourself. Customer service says she can stop, but there's no reversing the damage that's been done. She's stuck being this way as Elizabeth. Does she really want to give up being Sue? She decides she can't.
The balance just needs to be respected.
So respect it.
While Farja read the lines on set, the final substance voice was done by Jan Bean, who has the perfect devilish tone.
You are one. You can't escape from yourself.
Ravaged by age, Elizabeth takes a minute or 5 to crack her knee enough to stand up. Must be about to rain. She unwraps a gift given to her by Harvey when he fired her. It's a cookbook by French Gabriel Iglesias. She bitterly takes to it and cooks up a kitchen nightmare while mocking Sue on TV. At this point, she definitely sees Sue as a fully separate person, and who can blame her? I mean, Sue's shit-talking Elizabeth on network TV.
You do know that we're not exactly from the same generation.
Elizabeth's physical decay is scary in its own way, but even more brutal is her mental deterioration. It's not good. I love the practical shower they used to get this trippy shot, though. On Sue's turn to play, she finds the apartment filled with leftovers and redecorated for a zombie outbreak. She decides to get myopic with it and steal as much back juice as she can. She surely won't regret this later on. Nothing. Good go. Oh my God, she stayed Sue for 3 months? Now it's the night before New Year's Eve, and she's got SNL-style commercials for her big special. She's also got flowers that speak to her future, in contrast to Elizabeth's, which spoke to her past. You were amazing versus they are going to love you. With her show tomorrow, it's the worst possible time for Sue to run out of youth juice. You really should have planned this out a little better, Sue, because that well is tapped. All that's left is a bunch of back crud, brown and thick. She calls the 24/7 customer service line, and the voice tells her the only way to replenish the stabilizer is to be Elizabeth again.
The switch reboots the fluid secretion process, so you can continue to enjoy the experience.
Better hurry, Sue, because that frame rate is getting too choppy for comfort. She just barely manages to make the switch, but all that fluid abuse has taken a toll on Elizabeth. A troll toll? She is in full goblin mode now. Boobies rested on her wrists, just a sack of skin and bones. She's completely unrecognizable. Only bells she's ringing are in Notre Dame, am I right?
Leave me alone!
You're right, I'm sorry. It's a low blow. She's still Esmeralda on the inside, after all. It's bad enough she calls customer service and finally asks to end her experience.
I want to stop! I want to fucking stop!
Even though that means never going back to Sue again and staying this little goblin guy forever. The next day, Elizabeth picks up her termination kit and returns home to compete in the body dragging Olympics. Damn, gold medal for show. She starts injecting Sue with a syringe full of liquid death. Death liquid. It's not canned water, it's gonna kill her. But the thought of being trapped in her current state forever stops her before she finishes the job.
I need you. Because I hate myself.
She decides to bring Sue back, but it works a little too well, since her new body wakes up while her old one's still active. What the fuck? Somehow there's been a split or something, because all of a sudden, she are not one, they is two. Quali and Moore were excited to do an actual scene together after spending the whole movie swapping out as the same character.
We have scenes together, but one of us is not conscious.
Just limp on the floor.
It's trippy in a whole bunch of ways. Like, do they have each other's memories? Probably, because Sue notices the termination kit and realizes Elizabeth was going to kill her. She goes on the offensive as the movie continues to heighten things. Literally, since this fight scene has wire work involved. Oh man, that was a little old lady, Sue. A little old you. Elizabeth breaks free and runs away in Farja fashion. The tracking shots through a narrow hallway remind me of the crazy finale in Revenge. She barricades herself in the bathroom, but we've seen how many squats Sue does. That ass ain't just for show. She breaks her way inside and then breaks Elizabeth against the floor. She brings her Sparkle sister face to face with the mirror, showing her how she looks like April O'Neil halfway mutated into a Ninja Turtle. Then she gives her a closer look. and another one, and another one, and okay, goddamn, Sue, leave her alone. It is a painful beating to watch as it gets ever more bloody. They made a dummy head of Moore that could move and bleed realistically, while he used it to smash the mirror for real, with the VFX department stitching it together with shots of Moore reacting to the blows. Elizabeth crawls away, but Sue freaking kicks her across the room into a glass table, my god, and then mud stomps a hole in her ass. In fact, she ends up stomping the life out of her. I'm gonna say she's dead, which is weird because as the flashing screen reminds us, they are one. That's probably why Sue starts crying, as she realizes what she's done. And all for what? A New Year's Eve show? I think it better have a hell of a balloon drop. With the roomie problem dealt with, Sue gets glammed up for her big night, but she's feeling a little woozy here on account of a lack of back juice. It's fitting that her dress is so similar to Cinderella's, a princess who had to be home by midnight or else she'd become less glamorous. Sue's fancy form is way past the witching hour and falling to pieces, starting with her teeth. Oh my god, girl, please stop pulling those out. Think of what your producer would say.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Oh man, I love Harvey's gang of ghouls here, each of them ghouling things up in a different way. The ghoul gang gets distracted by feathery boobs and runs away. That guy at the end, he never breaks commitment the whole dang time. God bless him. Sue tries to leave, losing a fingernail and a full ear in the process. What? I said an ear. What? She stumbles her way back home and decides the solution involves a little substance rule breaking. She's going to reuse the activator fluid, even though it was one use only. Damn, Sue, why'd you keep that one use only thing for so long? Worse than keeping a bunch of Allen wrenches, or like a firewire cable. She takes the activator, once again rending her back skin and rendering more ocular multiplication. And since this is the last we see of Sue, I'm gonna count it as a kill, I guess? I don't know, man, just go with it. When the birthing is done, Sue's new body comes out, and it is fugly. She's got extra lips and teeth, an internal organ on the external, and some Elizabeth Sparkle back bling. Oh, she just keeps her mouth open like that? Yeah, that sucks to look at. The movie introduces the final Sparkle form and a Toxic Avenger looking nameplate. Actually, Monstro Eliza Sue looks like she could be Toxie's wife. Well, okay, yeah, I know Toxie's wife actually looked like this, but I mean, I guess Eliza Sue could be Toxie's sister. I mean, they have the same topography. Persone designed Elizabeth's degradation in stages, respectively nicknamed the Finger, Requiem, Golem, and Monstro. Farja thought the original designs for the Monstro felt too masculine, so Persone redesigned it with more resemblance to Sue. Farja wanted her to be graceful and tragic, inspired by David Lynch's Elephant Man and paintings by Colombian artist Fernando Botero. Of course, Monstro Eliza Sue also had to be gross, thus the, loose teeth. The end result was something Farja called a Picasso of male expectations. The full bodysuit, covered in random limbs and breasts, was completely practical and worn by Quali. The only exception was some digital effects used for more screaming face. Despite her state, Eliza Sue soldiers on, curling, or burning, I guess, her hair, and accessorizing with earrings that Farja made herself. They cannot yeah, sure, they can go right there, great. Ironically, Eliza Sue actually seems more comfortable in this body than her old one. After years of internalized hatred, she finally doesn't care what she looks like. It reflects Quali's real-life experience with the role. While wearing the Monstro suit was physically demanding, she found it easier to deal with than the emotional stress of playing the flawless Sue. A stunt double was used for wide shots, but Quali still spent 8 days shooting in the suit, which covered her whole body except for one eye. It took 6 to 9 hours to apply, and got so hot and steamy, she had to wear a cooling vest similar to ones worn by race car drivers. She would basically shoot as long as she could before having a panic attack.
Yeah.
So I might just jump.
I should have had more questions about the prosthetics.
Quali ended up getting severe acne from all the glue, which she used for her character when she shot Kinds of Kindness afterwards. Honestly, it seems like this shoot was absolutely miserable for her.
If you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all.
The film also took a major toll on Moore, who got shingles during a break in production and ended up losing 20 pounds. I won't deign to speak for them and say something like it was worth it, but I will give major props to both of them for being such troopers. Eliza Sue takes scissors to the giant Dorian Gray portrait of Elizabeth and turns it into a paper mask she glues onto her face.
Pretty girls should always smile!
She returns to the studio ready to roll, and the people there can't even tell the difference. I mean, look at all this adulation.
There she is!
so beautiful.
Turns out none of that is real though. More likely a memory from when Elizabeth was the pretty new thing in town. The POV shots for Eliza Sue and Sue were filmed with a hefty helmet cam, which Farja herself would sometimes wear to get the shots she wanted. Eliza Sue stumbles out to host the network TV New Year's Eve special that features a chorus line of topless women. Yeah, Farja is French as hell. But thematically, it makes sense. There are little girls in the audience, learning from what they see. And what they see includes Eliza Sue, who takes the mic as we get another Kubrick reference. The music here is Thus Spoke Zarathustra, the epic score that was used in 2001. There, it signaled the birth of mankind. Here, it welcomes the new evolution of womankind, Monstro Eliza Sue.
I'm so happy to be with you tonight.
The facade crumbles quickly as the mask slips away from her face. Everyone's appalled, especially that guy. And it gets worse when she starts hacking up a wardrobe malfunction. Oh man, this ain't no Janet Jackson nip slip, it's a full-on loose titty.
Fully.
Just, there it goes dropping, all the way out. I'm sure the crowd's gonna love that. Oh, never mind. The audience goes full torch and pitchfork, storming the stage and attacking Eliza Sue. Kill the beast! She's batted around like Quasimodo in the town square. But like Quasi and Frankenstein before her, this poor thing is more victim than villain. When Eliza Sue gets to her feet, one dude runs at her and smashes her head apart. What? It sprays blood everywhere. But I won't count it as a kill, because she sprouts another one in no time, even if it is, yeah, pretty messed up. Monstro holds it together for a bit, but eventually breaks apart and hoses the audience down in blood. Holy shit, what is happening, dude? This movie is officially off the rails. We've seen a lot of crazy shit these past 2 hours, but the substance goes for broke until the very end, turning this place into a crimson slip and slide. For this bonkers finale, they used an actual fire hose to spray 30,000 gallons of fake blood into a theater full of stunt performers. I know that not everyone who saw the movie liked this ending, but come on, man, it's metal as fuck. Boobs and butts are getting blasted with blood. A child is crying. You ain't seeing this anywhere else, folks. And sure as fuck not in any other Oscar movies. Eliza Sue flees the theater and runs down the street until her leg falls apart. In slow motion, she falls and bursts apart in a blood blast that would make radio silence weep with appreciation. I guess I'll count this as a kill, maybe? I mean, seriously, y'all, I don't know what to do with this one. Eliza Sue's big combustible body was built with gelatin skin and blood bags before being blown up on set. Wow, I cannot get enough of this BTS footage. Elizabeth's screaming face emerges as the last body part standing. You know what I mean. This fleshy mass, nicknamed the Gremlin, harkens back to a very early line in the film.
You wanna look like a giant jellyfish on the beach?
Now reduced to a jellyfish, Elizabeth crawls over to her Hollywood star. As she stares up at the palm trees, Elizabeth imagines one last moment in the spotlight. Then she melts away into a simple blood puddle, which, sure, I'll count as one last kill. For this melting head, they took a cue from Raiders of the Lost Ark and made a full fake head with gelatine and fake blood that was melted on set. Moore's face was then digitally added to the mess to get the full range of her performance. The movie ends the next morning as Elizabeth's remains are unceremoniously zambonied, but cracked as it is, at least her star sparkles once more. Did Demi give us more than our fair share of kills? Let's find out and get to the...
Have you ever dreamt of a better version of the numbers?
I mean, yeah, these are the hardest part to write.
Quicker.
Yeah.
Fewer bits.
Oh, no, actually, I like those.
More cost effective.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Then let's just get to...
4 people died in the substance? 4 parts of a person? I don't fucking know. But no matter which way you count them, the substance gives us the kill count's first ever fully red cherry pie. We did it, folks! Yeah! Only took us about 8 years. With a runtime of 134 minutes, we had a kill on average every 33 and a half minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Monstro Eliza Sue. Her body's been used and abused so much by this point, it's cathartic as hell when it blows apart in one big bloody explosion. And I won't give a dull machete this time around, since each of her other deaths makes my skin crawl in their own way. And that's it. The Substance was released in 2024 and became the biggest release ever for Mubi, which took on distribution after Universal Pictures sold it off because Farja refused to make changes to her final cut. Damn, she's a boss. Since this episode was a week late, I'm sorry, we've got another one for you next week. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
I got thick skin, but I'm hollow.
Imagine owning the best songs from the voice of our generation.
Got a body, but it's borrowed. Doctor, I need a new brain.
Sky Riley is back in concert. Celebrate her comeback tour with a collection of some of her greatest hits.
Just say what you want, but this time I don't believe you. But the sea should get in my way.
Here's Sky Riley like you've never heard her before.
Is it crazy?
Yes, that is crazy.
Each disc comes with exclusive behind-the-scenes content, special guest performances,
Doctor, I need a new brain.
and a curse from a demonic entity.
I've tasted what's inside your head.
So this week, call ahead to get your copy of Smile 2.
It's probably really shitty of me to even be calling you.
And if you order by credit card, we'll throw in the kill count. Only on Dead Meat.
How could I say no?
Smile 2 can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks for watching the kill count for The Substance. This movie is hella nominated at the Dead Meat Horror Awards. While filming this, I don't know how many of the categories we've announced, but don't worry, The Substance is in a bunch of them. I've said repeatedly this movie was my and Chelsea's favorite of the year, but that doesn't mean that it just automatically wins all the awards. Because now we have voting panels. It's more than just us. It's a real thing now. With real awards that real people get. We send these in the mail every year to the people who get them. I fucking love these things. They're the prime rib, man. Make sure to watch them over on Dead Meat Presents on Saturday, April 26th. I want to thank some patrons like Zayden Hopkins, Robert Kelly, Dan Rowley, Robert E., Michelangelo, Yober, Constellation Squid, and HST32. Thanks everyone. Be good people.